Awesome. Well, we are here on a beautiful Saturday at Olivedale Ranch, and we have our manager now, Becky Kilborn, along with Don
Redding, my best buddy, my best friend,
and good friends of ours.
And both friends of ours, yeah. So we want to talk to them because they are the key ingredients to this major event coming up in, when is it coming up? April. Sorry.
What's the date?
March.
April?
Oh, April. Sorry.
Wait. Okay, what's the date?
Wait, what's today?
Start, yeah.
April 26th.
April 26th, 2020. The Bare Burro 5K fundraise?
Fundraise, yeah.
Is that the official title?
Basically like a whole weekend.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the whole
Friday the 24th through Sunday the 26th.
of
Yep.
April.
So, and this event did start as just the one day,
Yes.
right? So it was just the Sunday, everybody goes and they run and they kill themselves and then, whatever. I don't know about kill themselves, but
Kill
physically.
himself running.
Yeah, kill themselves running.
Yeah, there you go.
But like you said, now it's a Friday through Sunday event. So for this year, I know it keeps getting better and better and better. What do you guys have planned for this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Well, we kick off Friday night with some karaoke down in the clubhouse. That's always a interesting time.
Right?
It is.
It's always a good show.
Well, especially,
Always a good show.
and you're going to have your friend do it this year again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
last year it
As
was
the
honestly probably
MC.
the best karaoke
It was-
I've
yeah,
ever
there's
seen
so
since
much
it's
fun.
been on.
He's a performer, so he's like very talented. He
Yeah.
loves to get out there and sing
Yeah.
karaoke.
And there's
Getting
so-
people involved.
Dude,
too.
and there's
Yeah.
so many people who are so good at karaoke, and like they're like, oh no, I can't sing, and then they get on there and they're just like fucking Frank Sinatra and shit, and you're like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. So that, yeah, and
Yeah, so
what's
Jake's gonna host it.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's his name.
And he's good. Yeah, he draws people in, and if they don't do it, like he's not shy to get up there and sing. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
do
So
a
no
show,
matter what, whether people are doing karaoke or not, you're gonna get a show that night.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna
definitely.
be amazing.
Definitely.
So hopefully he doesn't like hurt himself this year. Like, 'cause last year, I don't know what happened, but it was like Friday
I
karaoke.
missed that. Apparently, he was getting a little theatrical,
He got
and
a little
Yeah, and then the
too
next day he was
theatrical.
just on crutches.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell
Yeah.
happened?
yeah,
From
I don't know.
karaoke?
Were you there?
From I don't know. I wasn't there when it actually happened. It was the next day when
Oh.
somebody was like, they're looking for a pair of crutches for Jake because he hurt himself. I'm like, what do you mean? It was karaoke last night. They're like, got
Yeah.
a little too.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
this is how crazy karaoke
Right?
gets at all of them.
Well, he
just
does-
letting you guys know.
He does Rocky Horror Picture Show
Oh, yeah, that's right.
in San
Oh, the
Diego now.
musical,
He's like
huh?
Rocky,
Yeah.
so he's like used to like dancing and
yeah.
theatrics. So it's really really fun to watch him. But
It
like
is,
yeah.
yeah.
I just imagine he got into some point of just like
Doing a little too much.
a little
you know?
too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
So even if you don't run,
He's
at least come
he's
for
recovered.
karaoke.
Yeah,
He'll be
exactly.
back.
Good. Awesome. Okay. So then Saturday, what do we got going on there?
Saturday morning, we're going to be doing cornhole.
Cornhole.
Kind of ease into that because we don't know how early in the morning people will be showing up, or getting out of bed from the night, karaoke the night before.
Right.
Crazy karaoke
Plus,
party.
they got to get ready for the naked beer
Mile.
mile
Mhm.
later on
Yes.
that afternoon.
That's true. So how many years has this naked beer mile been around?
This is our
Fourth.
fourth one.
Fourth one,
This is
yeah.
our fourth one.
And what exactly does that entail for people who have never done a beer mile?
I've never done a beer mile. I've only been a part of this one. This was my first experience. And I think it's the craziest idea in the entire
Right?
world. And I really thought when it was first pitched to me, I swear to God, I told Patrick, I said, I think you're crazy because I don't think anybody's going to really do it.
Yeah.
So you run, and it's up from down below up to my house, and then back is the quarter mile.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's uphill. So you run, and then you drink a beer or root beer if you don't
Yeah.
drink beer. But you get all that carbonation going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do that after
So every quarter-
single quarter mile.
Chug.
You chug
chug
a
4
beer.
beers.
You
That's-
cannot go until you finish chugging
That's
that
true.
beer. And it is the funniest thing to watch because everybody's so competitive.
Yeah.
Even though this is just a totally for fun race kind of a thing,
Yeah, nobody really wins.
Nobody
you
really
know? Yeah.
wins, but they're very competitive. So the determination that first time when they're running, they're like, yeah, and they come up and they slap my hand, turn around and head back. Okay, a little bit later, then they come up the next time. They're a little
not so
tiny,
enthusiastic.
they're a little tiny bit slower, but they're still going, And then that third time, now I'm looking at my watch going, wow, what the hell? And the third time they're coming up, they're right? I'm like, why are you even doing this? No, I gotta finish. By the last time, I'm literally texting Don because he's down at the finish line. I'm texting him going, is the race even still going?
Right?
Because at that point now they got to take because you have to drink the whole beer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're going sip by, versus the first one.
Yeah, the first one, they're really chugging it. Yeah. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's beer or even root beer.
Anything,
it's the same thing. They're still
the carbonation.
It's the carbonation. But you can see they're having an absolute blast. You know, it's
crazy. Hurting themselves.
Somebody was saying they need a beer bong and warm beer next year. So just make it like force it
down there
and then start going.
So after talking to a lot of people, they actually said that the beer is actually easier than soda. So like some people are like, oh, I'll just do a soda. I won't get drunk. I'll be better. Easier. But you get so full off all that sugar and all that stuff. Oh, so even if you're not a drinker, I'd highly recommend doing just the beer. And then some people, they don't drink soda or beer, so they quiet bird. So they just start chugging water. But I feel like that's even worse.
That's even worse. Yeah.
So
either way, you kind of got a belly full.
We've helped out, and we've been the person who's like handing out the beers, and it does not look. It looks fun to watch, but it doesn't look that fun to actually do.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's like Patrick, who's this guy who's run a number of the Bare Burros, and he said, like, we want to do a beer mile sometime. And I think once he mentioned that for a year or two.
He mentioned it for a couple of years.
And Becki and I are like, yeah. And then finally we're like, okay, we'll try it. Yeah. And we put it out there, and I don't know, the first year, like 45 people.
Yeah, I think we have.
And now we're up to like 100 people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, get naked and drink beer and run a mile. And you're like,
yeah, it's so awesome to see. But, okay, we got to say this too. If you're going to do the beer mile, you have to chug your entire drink, whatever you have.
Yes.
Because the rule is you have to put it over your head.
You have to empty the can over your head.
Gotcha.
But then you see people, and after after the third one, they're like, and then they pour over the head, and all of it just like is on their head, and they're like, yeah, whatever, that counts. I'm like, oh no,
doesn't work like that.
Yeah. So, and also, if you're on a budget and you're trying to like drink beer but not spend too much money, there's a shitload of like half beers on the floor, so you can just pick one up, grab one, because nobody drinks.
Isn't that surprising?
But what's funny is like the end of the race, like everybody's, they're like excited, but they're like, oh, like I can't.
Just so full.
And then like half an hour later, you go up to the pool, and they're all in the pool drinking beer. It's like that didn't last long.
Yeah. Saturday is it's a pretty crazy day because it doesn't even end with the beer mile. Because then you guys also have.
So then, then we have a toga dance later on in the evening. Mm-hmm. So then we just parlay from that straight into a dance, and all bets
you
are off.
should just do like a beer 5K. Why not? Just go all the way out. Like you're drinking the whole weekend anyways.
Might as well.
Yeah. But it is funny to see. So you guys have people coming from all over the world that come in.
Oh yeah.
And do this run. So okay, let's back up a little bit. When you first started the 5K, how many people did you guys have?
We had just under 100 people that first year,
and
I was told to expect about 25 or 30.
Yeah.
Because these things take time to really get going.
Yeah.
Fucking liars.
And he said somebody else was the first one.
We had residents. Ken and Jane used to live here, and they were avid runners, and it was their idea. They wanted to do this, and so they had brought it to membership and asked if we could put it on our calendar. And I was like, yeah, sure. I think it sounds like a great idea, And she's like, it'll be really small though. These things do. She says they usually take like 3 or 4 years to really get big.
Yeah.
But she says it really has the potential to be a lot of fun, And she's like, but it's just a Sunday. Just one
Sunday morning.
Yeah, no big deal. So I'm like, all right, fine, no problem. And so we did it. And that first year we had just under 100 people come up, and I was like, holy crap, these people are serious.
Competitive, right?
Yeah, and to me, this is not like a sanctioned race or anything. This is totally just a fun race. But everybody was just like, oh my God, that was so fun. We had a great time. This is such a challenging course, and I was like, holy crap. And these are serious runners. These are people that do the Boston Marathon, and this is what they do. And
you're saying now some of these people are actually putting this run into their schedule for the year.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, oh, it's Boston Marathon.
We learned that. We learned that because April is always our month. It's always in April. That is our tradition. Mm-hmm. So our only conflicts can be Easter, if Easter falls in April. Then we also learned one year it cannot be before tax day because some of these people are accountants and they're super busy.
Swamped.
And one year we had it before the 15th, and we had so many people that were so upset because they couldn't make it because they're accountants.
Yeah.
So we learned that one. One year we had it the exact same weekend as the Boston Marathon, and we had the exact same response. Don't do it the same weekend because I run the Boston Marathon, but I also want to come run your race. So I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? The Boston Marathon's like that's a real race, right? You know? And they're like, no, we planned for this. We put this on our calendar. Yeah. So that's when I think Don and I both learned, like, crap, we need to plan and know when our next year's race is going to be at the race that we're at. We got to be able to say, okay, next year it's on this date. And we have to be able to go. I Google it. When is the Boston Marathon? When is Easter? When, you know what I mean? I get this is the date, because these people are serious about it. And you're right. They come from other states, other countries to come and do this race because it's fun and challenging. That's the biggest thing I've heard that has surprised me, is how challenging it is. Yeah. You know, it's hard. And it's to the point now where I'm hoping, I want people to go, yeah, how was the race this year? How was the course? You know, oh, it was really hard. I'm like, yes, right? That's what I was wanting.
Does she try and make it harder like every single year?
We try to.
Or like change it.
Yeah, we try to change it up a little bit. We can only do, so much. Yeah. We will literally change the course about every 3 or 4 years. That kind of takes some time though, because you really have to, we go out bushwhacking.
Yeah.
You go out bushwhacking. Let's just go that way and see what happens. And then I get my husband on his dirt bike, and then he kind of makes it from there. So it's a process. Yeah, I know, it's so hard.
He hates it.
So, but this year it's going to be very similar to last year, but I am going to have to adjust a little bit for 2 reasons. There was a part of the course that was too much of a downhill. Yeah. So I'm going to switch that. And then the donkeys have come into play. They have come across a certain portion, and our trail master, Abel, has had to work the trail around what the donkeys have done. Yeah. So we have to, unfortunately, our trail is really run by the donkeys. Yeah. Even though they don't show up the day of.
It is looking good. I've been hiking a lot lately. Yeah. And like the trail looks pretty clean. Like in most
I went up yesterday, and there were places like where it had been recently raked, and it was really clean, and like, wow, this is like looking great.
Yeah. I don't know. So a lot of these people that come, most of them are like the ultra marathon runners. So they run like hundreds of miles on their races, and even those people. So from what we understood last year, because we spoke to a lot of people, they're saying that 5Ks are actually harder than ultra marathons, because like the marathons you can like kind of jog a little bit. Like 5Ks are kind of just like a sprint. Like for me, regardless, I just hate running. So like they both suck. But like I met this one guy at the gym one time, and he was like, oh yeah, like I'm an ultra marathon runner. I was like, oh well, we got like this little 5K thing at this nude resort if you want to come hang out. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. Like he's from like Germany. He's like, yeah, that's totally normal for me. Like whatever. He ended up taking like 3rd place. He's like,
didn't he say he was injured too?
Oh yeah,
you're like, oh, you're a runner.
He was all, oh yeah, I hurt my whatever, and he's like, yeah, a nice little like 5K would be.
5K is easy. I can do that.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, so he ended up taking because we're at the finish line watching people come in, and he shows up 3rd place, and
like I know that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the guy I know, and he's like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. He's like, that was pretty fucking hard. Like it was probably one of the hardest 5Ks I've ever done. And then we ended up interviewing a whole bunch of people that day, and I think just about every one of them were like, this is probably the hardest 5K I've ever done. Yeah. Because it's all hilly. It's all, and if nobody's been here before,
it's not flat. That's what I try to explain to people.
Yeah,
I think most people think about, a 5K, running through the town, like, Loma Linda does it. You just run through the neighborhoods, that's all nice and flat. That is not what ours is. We have got hills for days. So, we take advantage of the property.
Yeah, hills and corners, and it's about 90% zigzag, 90% dirt trail, and
it's a cross country trail for sure. But it's also a fabulous trail to just go walking on.
It is.
It's a lot of fun to go out there walking, because the scenery is amazing. The views. It's just
on a clear day you can see all the mountains,
and you get to be naked. So, come on.
Now, there's also, obviously there's a bunch of like professional runners here, but what about for the people who like don't really like running, or they kind of just want to come and hang out for just the weekend, or you might even want to walk the trail? Still a good idea for them, right?
Still a great idea. It's a really great weekend. We used to, way back in the day, we used to have what was called an open house. And it just kind of helps people, come in and kind of understand what the lifestyle was, and slowly over the years, we kind of did away with that. And it's almost like the 5K has turned into that. It really helps people understand what the lifestyle is and kind of get an idea, because obviously people who have never done this before, they have it in their head what they think is a nudist resort and what they think happens at a nudist resort. So when they come up for this race, guarantee you they're leaving by the end of the weekend going, God, this was so not what I thought it was going to be. So it is an awesome weekend to come up, even if you're not going to actually run the race. It's a great weekend just to come up. You're going to meet some amazing people from all over. You know, amazing, fun people. And everybody is, all they want to do is come up and have a great time. That's it.
Well, I think one of the big surprises was like at a traditional 5K race, people go and run, and then you kind of cool down and you hang out for a little bit, and then like, you know, an hour after the race is gone, everybody's gone. Yeah. And so we were kind of anticipating that here, and like 4 hours after the race is gone, everybody's still in the pool having a drink. Like, you know, people don't leave until like the sun starts to go down. Right. So it's like, or it's good. They definitely like people who think like, oh, I'm never gonna like run naked or I'll do it, and then they're like, oh yeah, I love this.
Spend a whole day having a great time. Yeah.
So one of my favorite things, which we've recorded podcasts with you before, but I lost all the information. But we won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. But you did say that whatever you thought or whatever you think is going to happen at a nudist resort, just forget about it. And that was probably one of the most powerful things I've ever heard regarding nudism. Because a lot of people do consider, they consider just nudity in general. It's like having something to do with like this sexual, something's going to happen. You know, people are, there's just going to be a bunch of dudes walking around with boners and shit. But yeah, it's totally not that at all. It's literally like Don was just saying. It's just people, they just want to have a good time. People just want to be happy. And yeah, we're just naked because it's the most comfortable you can be, especially on a day like that.
Exactly.
99% of the time, the weather during the 5K weekend is absolutely perfect. It's absolutely great. Unfortunately, there was that 1 year, a couple years ago. I don't know what was going on.
I don't know.
But people still hung out.
I was going to say, we still had a ton of people.
It was still, I mean, it wasn't cold, but it wasn't like it wasn't hot, but people still hung out all afternoon.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Yeah. I love it. And one of my favorite things to see is to see people, two different things. So one is like a day or two before the race day, and you see everybody starting to set up their camps and stuff, and some people come in because they just want to get a spot. And then my favorite part is seeing everybody on that exact race day on Sunday or like on that Saturday. And you just see hundreds of like people just like we don't have enough parking inside the resort. We have to park people on the road just to get people in here. And it's so cool to see everybody just coming together for one cause. And like you said, just to have a good time, just to have fun, go back to like that childhood mentality where like, there's no worries, there's no cares. It's just, you're just here just to run or walk these hills.
Just that's hang all out with everybody.
Well, I love too how like just everybody comes together too from the like resort, the members and the residents just all come together to help and pitch in that day, whatever people need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's people running around like chickens.
It's like all hands on deck.
You're the main one.
It is. It's all hands on deck that day.
But everybody loves it.
And we do. Everybody
very
loves
high,
it.
Very high energy.
I mean, right down to our kids. I have our kids part of it. I have them holding arrows along the trail so that we, directing people so people don't get lost.
And you got people handing out water.
And, people handing out water. I mean, we've got
we can't.
First K or our first aid people. Yeah. You know, if anybody needs anything, people with golf carts that if somebody doesn't want to finish the race, they, we'll run up and grab them. I mean, it's just all hands are on deck for that race.
Absolutely beautiful. So, it's probably my favorite weekend. Yeah. At Allendale. So last year was the 10th. Okay. For some reason I want to say 5. I didn't think. Okay. So 10th annual. So this one is going to be the 11th one. Now, as far as number wise, so from that 100 or less than 100 people the first year, how many do you guys have? Or how many did you guys have for last year? And what are you expecting for this year's numbers?
Registered last year, we were just over 350. And actually running was maybe like 320, 325. There's always people. Yeah. Either they can't make it or they, there's some people that registered and they were here. And I'm like, you're not running. And they're like, no.
I just want to be here.
I had a big night last night. I just like,
I have made that mistake before.
Running would not be a good idea
partying too much at the toga party. Yeah. So if you're a serious runner, you're probably not. If you're a serious runner, you're not going to get crazy anyways. But if you're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But then you're also like kind of like to party. I don't know. It doesn't really work out because I just remember being on the trail and just throwing up like the whole time.
What the hell was I thinking?
It was dumb. Cause I remember waking up and I was like, "Oh, I'm like still drunk. This is not good." And then my buddy Tony is just like, "Oh no, like you got to get out there, go." Yeah. Like, okay. Oh, and that was also the day before. Fell down the hill. Sliced my foot open. So I had this big old gash in my foot, and he's like, "Yeah, no, you already paid for it. You're running.
You gotta go run."
So I'm like, I got like a half open foot. I'm like throwing up all over the trail. So yeah,
youngsters.
Yeah,
I know that was back in my day though. I don't know.
That's back in the younger days.
But yeah. So but
serious runners aren't doing that.
Yeah, serious runners they're not. They're like, oh no, I need to get to bed early on time tonight. So I can wake up because the race starts at
10:30.
10:30.
Yeah.
That's
So
in the morning.
That's in the morning.
It's a little
Yeah.
early.
But you used to have registration open at
A little
8
early.
a.m.
No, 8. Yeah.
Okay.
No, registration starts at 8. So yeah, you have to. Yeah, you've got to get here and get
going.
and get going.
So you recommend now people come at least a day, preferably the whole weekend, but at least a day before the actual race because it's like
it's proven helpful.
crazy.
Well, there's several good ideas.
Yeah,
It's always a good idea to try to carpool with other people.
that's true.
Because parking. I mean, we've been able to park everybody,
Mhm.
but yeah, might be parking a little ways away. So if
A
you
little
carpool,
walk.
carpool might be a really good idea.
Mhm.
2, yes, if you are able to, come up for the weekend. At the very least, come up the day before.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier. It's also easier if you get registered online
Mhm.
already.
Yep.
And then that way you've got all of that taken care of. And then that
Mhm.
way the morning of, all you're having to do is to go get your tracker put on you, your number painted, and then that's
Just
it.
checking
Yeah.
in.
It's just checking in, and it's a lot easier because it can get pretty chaotic because there's a ton of people here and everybody's just kind of
Right?
standing around waiting for this race.
I see some people like at 10:20. They're like, "Where do I go?"
Yeah, so where do
like,
I go? What do I do?
My tracker and my number, and I'm like, "Whoa, man! Like, you got 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you need to run down there."
And there even reaches a point where it's getting so close to the race, like I can't even let people come in the gate
Oh yeah.
because that's part of that.
That's
The
part of
very
the trail.
first part is running that that portion, and so my cars have to stop, and so yeah, it's always smart to try to at least get here the day before,
Mhm.
and like I said, if you're able to,
come
I'd
for the
come
weekend.
out on Friday.
Yeah.
I just think, it's so much fun. Yeah,
It's-
there's tents
stuff to
everywhere.
do.
There's people everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's just in this really happy, good mood.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's like,
just a fun weekend.
It's just a really fun
Yeah,
weekend.
it's a fun weekend.
So as far as registration, take somebody through like kind of the progress of it or the process of it, because I know some people are kind of worried about like registering online and stuff like that, but you guys
Their
have everything
information.
already open right now, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
registrations are open, and you can actually
Registration.
save money right now because you guys have the number or the price will go up.
Like early registration.
Yeah,
Yes.
early registration is until March 15th, and then
Mhm.
after March 15th, it'll go up.
So
Um,
if I were to register today, how much is it for the? I don't know how you break
It's-
down the prices.
It's $40 for just the Bare Burro,
Okay.
or it's $100 for the entire weekend,
Oh, nice.
including the Bear Mile and the Bear Mile.
Oh,
The
so-
Beer Mile and the Bear Burro.
Yeah, so you don't have to.
But
You're
that
like
includes both
included
of
in
them?
the
So
activities.
it's
That includes both of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can.
dude.
$100
You
for
can be
the 3-day
$100
weekend.
from Friday to Sunday, including all the runs.
Yeah,
All that,
including all the
yeah.
runs, your camping, overnight fees, for where you put your tent and stuff. So yeah, I mean it's an awesome deal.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's actually okay. If you were to really break it down and if somebody were to go online and see all the prices like that, you're
Trying to do
saving
them now. So much money.
shit
you're
load of
saving.
money
Yeah,
out.
you're
Yeah.
saving a crap
By
ton of money
doing
by
that,
doing this.
That's
yeah.
very good deal.
Yeah, and then also, so as far as like what Olivedale has to offer too, it's not just this run. So you guys also have like your cafe. You guys have the clubhouse, which has like a pool table and darts, and like you said, the karaoke, and then you guys have tennis courts and volleyball court and
The pool, sauna,
sauna.
Jacuzzi. Yeah,
There's
the
just-
sauna.
there's so much to
so
do
much
here.
to do.
Yeah.
There is a ton to do. So
And you
yeah.
could
Oh, yeah.
practice the race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
You
too.
go
I
out-
mean,
yeah,
one
you
of the
go out
things,
walking.
like, I know some people that aren't big campers, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not camp," and it's like, okay, you need a tent and a sleeping bag,
Mhm.
but beyond that, the restaurant is open all weekend.
Right,
You've got
there's
bathrooms,
showers.
you've got showers, you've got
Yeah.
everything you need. It's
Yeah.
not like it's not self-sufficient camping.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
thirsty,
Yeah,
you'll get a
You're
cold
gonna be
drink.
dirty the
it's
whole
like,
weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
so
If you're like
it's-
Blake,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a shower here, but I don't use it. It's fine. Well, hell yeah, dude. Okay, well,
So then, but then
Good.
after March 15th, how much does it go up? For the weekend and for the race.
it goes up by $45 for the race,
Yeah, just for the race
and
alone.
then $110 for
Yeah,
the
I think
weekend.
it's I know I'd have to
Should-
back up my notes.
I'm sorry.
You should.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes up,
It
and
goes
then
up.
like if you just show up on the
And
date,
then, and then there's
it goes-
actually a cutoff date to where if you just show up like the day of,
Yeah.
you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
You're
Any
not
of
going to
those
get that
deals,
deal.
yeah.
And also by waiting longer, if we do get too many people registered, you might not be able to run because we have to cut it off. We have to cut it off.
Yeah.
I mean, at this rate, we have so many people. Yeah, we can only fit so many cars and so many people. So it's just always best for people just to
plan ahead.
To plan ahead and get it. I know some people are, leery about, well, I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I don't, but like you said, I mean, this is our 11th year, and we've only had one race where we had a little bit of rain, and it was not the entire race. It was kind of sporadic, and it didn't stop anybody.
It wasn't even like rain.
It probably felt good too.
It wasn't. It wasn't even like
it was like California rain. Yeah, like the fake stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, but to go back to active.com, one of the questions people get is like they're a little nervous, like going to a nudist resort, and like we've got our settings on active.com so nobody can see that you've registered.
Oh yeah,
except for us.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we never share anybody's name. We publish the results of the race, but it's only your first name and last initial.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So we keep people's privacy is really carefully protected because there's a lot of people that they come out every year, but like they're like, this is so cool, I love it, but I'm not quite ready to go public that I'm like going and doing nude 5Ks.
Which is something that we bring up to a lot of people because like for us, obviously, like we post our stuff on Instagram and stuff like that. So that's just the road that we decided to take. You can be a nudist and just be a nudist. We just want to promote it.
Exactly. Yeah, and just like because like during the race, we do take like pictures and stuff, but those are for the actual runners. The runners have the option, like if they want to buy a picture of them running this race, or But we also have red wristbands, so if you do not even want your picture, because when we go through the pictures, Don is the one that usually is the one that goes through them, and let's say he's got an awesome picture of Blake. Well, Blake wouldn't be running, but an awesome picture of Blake. In the background. But there's somebody right next to him that's, I mean, definitely has it. So he's gonna either completely blur out that other person, crop him out, so that Blake can have this really awesome picture of just him falling down as he's running this race,
throwing up, falling down,
or throwing up. But we do take that very seriously. Like you said, I don't use any of the pictures like on our website to advertise our 5K. We don't have to do that. For us, it's just word of mouth.
We should also mention like that whole weekend, everybody is protected. Like we're really like serious about no cameras in like the common areas. We need consent for any photos, and people will get on you if they see you. Like just taking pictures. And I totally get that there's like groups of people like they want to do this, and that's perfectly fine. But we usually have a specific spot up on our sun deck. So if you want to get a great shot of you and your group, you do, but you have the background. Yeah. So there's no worry of getting somebody in the background.
Nobody's wandering around the pool with a camera.
Yeah, exactly. Because we are very, very particular about that.
Yeah, and there are people out there, like there's people who, it's mainly most of the,
use your words.
The membership. Sorry. Most of the members will walk around and if they see somebody taking photos.
So correct.
Yeah.
So,
and then like you said, it's really just for the protection of everybody, like everybody at the resort. So, because it's kind of cool because you got like doctors and lawyers and you got firefighters.
You got everybody
here, and that's what
you got the hippies.
My kid's teacher.
His kid's teacher.
My fourth grade teacher. My fourth grade teacher, when I moved back up here as an adult, one of our residents, I had known him, and we were down here, and he was like, "Oh, Becki, I want to introduce you to my girlfriend," and I'm looking at her, and I'm all, she's all, "Hi, my name's," and I'm all, "Did your last name used to be Rayburn?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm all, "You were my fourth grade teacher." I'm like,
dude,
holy crap!
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of teachers that we know.
There's a lot of teachers.
Let's see what else.
Yeah, that's happened at the Bare Burro one year. There were two people that like knew each other, showed up, and like there was this like awkward. Like one of the guys was telling me after me, there's this awkward moment, and then it's like, "Oh, you're here, I'm here," and then they had this great, then it was a great time. It's like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's what people have to realize too. They're like, because if somebody's like, "Oh, guess who I saw at this nudist resort? They're being naked." Like, yeah, well, weren't you there?
It's like you were there too. Yeah.
What if I see somebody that I know?
Yeah.
Like, but they're there too.
Exactly.
So stop and think about that.
Yeah. I don't. I think the judgment just goes out. People are like completely over it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So has your guys' like trying to market for this event, has it kind of been a lot easier now that you already have, like you were saying,
it's already established.
So it was like, how did you first start marketing this? Like when you're like, hey, like how hard is it to get people to like hey, come run naked.
The first guy, I mean, like as Becki said, there were people who were just like wanting to do it, but I think the first couple years, what I really focused on was reaching out to running groups.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, there's like lots of running groups and running clubs, and a few of them just kind of like grabbed a hold of it. Yeah. And these are the people that tend to be the really, you know, strong elite runners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they started like coming and spreading it out among themselves. And I mean, we do some marketing now, but it's like
definitely not how it used to
be. Not like, you know, it used to be just we were just pushing it like all the time.
Yeah.
Sending out press releases and trying to contact anybody and everybody, and now, you know, so it's in a much better place now.
Yeah.
And I think part of what's made it successful, and I'll give credit to some of those running clubs, is they've made it a real race.
Yeah.
You know, there's lots of people that come out, and if you want to walk the whole course, cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's great.
Yeah.
But we have real competitors.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that gives the race some like real fun too.
Yeah.
You know,
a little bit.
Well, like you said, it's no longer like the Boston Marathon, and then there's also like this cool little race. It's like it's like the Boston Marathon, and it's Olive Dale's
Bare Burro. Yeah. They go hand in hand.
There's a group called Front Runners, and they have like it's a huge running club, but they have like this elite thing they call the Grand Prix, that you've got to complete these races and get a certain number of scores. And Bare Burro is now one of their core races in their Grand Prix of races. That's awesome. It's like so cool. It's like, really? Like they told me, I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, you've got like one of the toughest like trail run courses out there. So like we put this out as a challenge to our members.
That's awesome.
I'm like,
Hell,
very cool.
Yeah, man. And then a lot of these people, I know I've seen like some people, it was their first time doing any type of nudist anything, who went to just the race, just to run. And they've actually come back before, and now they're like, they come back over and over again just to come and be naked. Like
just
they
come hang out. Yeah.
It's kind of like the one time too. Like a lot of people come to the resort, but like just getting them back here, I think is great.
Oh yeah.
That they,
seeing people that you only see like once a year, but it's cool. Oh, like how you been? Like, and then you get to catch up on a whole year's worth of like stories and stuff.
And most of them, because they live not within the county, you know, they're like coming from North California. We met a lot of people from Northern California last year.
That's true.
But just like other parts of the states, and even like around the world.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. Do you guys have anything else to add for the Bare Burro?
People should come out.
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
So again,
come and do it. April 24th to 26th.
April 24th to 26th.
The actual 5K is the 26th, but all the fun starts on the 24th.
Yeah, definitely highly. I didn't even know that was the prices, but that's a really good deal. Mm-hmm. I would definitely get your tickets now before
March 15th.
March 15th.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, okay, dude. And then do you want to do a reminder for the circus one too?
Oh yeah. Come to our circus.
Yeah, which is going to be fun. Come to our circus. Thank you.
March 28th. We're having our Cirque de Nude party. So carnival games, performers, or aerial performers, fire dancers, whoever else wants to perform. We have a magician. We're going to have a party in a circus tent-ish kind of thing. Yeah. But it's going to be awesome. So
good times.
Good times.
Yeah. And also thank you for everybody who keeps reaching out to us for volunteering.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have like a shitload of volunteers. So
we'll be getting back to you next week.
Yeah. So we will reply to your emails. We're like collecting them all right now, and we're replying like sooner than we can. Or as soon as we can, I promise. So awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Don.
We really
Thank you,
appreciate
Becki.
it.
No problem.
Yep. And we will talk to everybody. I forgot we're on camera. Later.
Thanks.
See you, dudes.